Okay, welcome. We have a very nice evening. So we're going to start with a beautiful story. Everybody likes a good story. So today I was talking to somebody living in Bali about when they first visited to Papaji in 1992. It was a very attractive young woman working in fashion, and she arrived in Lucknow, and she went directly to Papaji's house because she had a friend who introduced her directly to Papaji. Most people, when they came there, would go to a meeting with maybe 100 people. So she was very lucky. She went straight to his house. But then he announced, I'm closing the satsang for 2 weeks. So then she got a shock because she'd come all the way from Bali to Lucknow to meet Papaji, and then he was going away for 2 weeks. But then he put his hand in his pocket and he took out a train ticket. And he gave her the train ticket and said, "You're coming with me." He'd never met her before. So then 10 people travelled on the train with Papaji from Lucknow to Hardwar, which is near Rishikesh. Okay. The tech guys are doing something. We have to wait. Okay, so Hardwar is an interesting city. In India, it's the place where the river Ganga comes out of the Himalayas onto the North Indian plain. So they consider Hardwar a very spiritual city. It's a small city, and it was a favorite place for Papaji. And he had a guest house there where he would stay. And he took these 10 people with him, and they all stayed in a guest house together. And then the rest of the people, which included me, we went also on the train and stayed nearby, and also were involved in the whole thing. Then she had another very beautiful story, and this was that one day he went out of Hardwar to Rishikesh. And from Rishikesh he went to a small ashram called Pujati. And when he got there, he decided to have a swim. So he went down to the beach, went into the water, and these 10 people also jumped into the water, swimming with him. And after the swim, they were on the beach. And then Papaji decided to go back up from the beach up to the ashram. And this woman who I talked to today, she was a young woman in those days. Now she's 70, like me. Anyway, so she gave Papaji her arm. And they started to walk together. And then she suddenly realized that she'd left her purse on the beach. So she was kind of concerned what I have to do, I left my purse on the beach. And in that moment, Papaji said to her, "Don't worry, somebody will take care of your purse." So this was a very important moment because she realized that Papaji had the power to read her mind. So this was the kind of moment when she could surrender to him, because before that she had some kind of judgments or questions. But after that she had no more questions. So that was kind of an amazing trip, and now I talk to her 25 years later, and in the meantime she became an artist, she's painting. And we had this beautiful meeting. We'll show you all the the interview sometime, because we had such a beautiful, heartful satsang together, in fact. And this is what I love so much about Zoom, that I'm sitting here in Germany and she's in Bali, and we had this completely intimate meeting, heart-to-heart meeting. And I hope tonight some of you will experience the same thing on this Zoom meeting. So tonight we have 34 people. This is about our record, I think. And tonight, you may have noticed, is Tuesday. So the next meeting will be on the 10th of June, which is a Thursday. And the next one will be on the 15th of June, which is a Tuesday. So my idea is every week there'll be a meeting, and 1 week it'll be on Tuesday, and 1 week it'll be on Thursday. Okay, so if you want to make a plan, you can alternative weeks on Tuesday and then on Thursday. Looks like a bird has joined our meeting. Okay, so let's sit quietly now for a few minutes, about 10 minutes. So if you close your eyes, sit comfortably and look inside. See what's happening inside. And bring your attention to whatever is the strongest. And keep your attention there. Bring your attention to the strongest and keep your attention there on that place. It may be a thought, maybe a feeling, maybe a body sensation. It may just be silent. Okay, so when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Come back into the room. Come back into the screen. So somebody might like to share what happened to them. If you click on your flag, it'll get opened, your sound will get opened. So I'm going to invite Madhu. She's in the south of Ukraine. Would you like to share, Madhu?
Да, меня слышно? Было очень-очень приятное ощущение падения в эту бездну с таким легким, волнеющим трепетом. Но было очень тепло и уютно.
Arjuna, can you translate that to English? Yes, it was very soft feeling of falling into kind of deep place.
Okay, nice. Nice to see you looking very good.
Хорошо видеть
Perhaps we,
тебя, выглядящий хорошо.
perhaps we'll meet again soon.
Скоро увидимся.
I'm coming to Ukraine in 2 weeks.
Я
I
приезжаю в
know,
Украину через 2 недели.
I know.
Да, я знаю.
I hope to
And
see you.
okay, and Indira's coming on tomorrow. Tomorrow she's coming,
А
flying
Индира
to
вот
Ukraine
завтра
tomorrow.
прилетает в Украину самолетом.
So there's a flood of energy coming to Ukraine.
Потоки энергии устремились в Украину.
Okay, I hope you can handle it.
Надеюсь, вы сможете с этим справиться.
Okay, so Nadini, would you like to share something?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Yeah, perfect.
I felt very connected and a lot of energy rises up from my heart.
Okay, very nice. Did your husband leave?
No, we are divided, but he's still in the house, but he isn't here because he's at his work. He's
Okay.
busy.
Okay, perhaps you change the locks, you know? That's the next step for you.
Maybe.
So it's a very beautiful story because this lady came to a recent retreat weekend, and over the years she developed a yoga practice. She's a yoga teacher. And during the weekend she was sharing that unfortunately her husband is not interested in knowing about himself. He's not interested in looking inside, only with drugs. So he's actually doing a lot of different drugs. And so anyway, when she came back on, I guess it was Tuesday, her children ran out and said, "Mommy, Mommy, we don't want to live with Papa anymore. We want to live with you." So this is actually very beautiful that now she can actually leave the husband without leaving her children. So finally she got what really destiny wants for her, I think. Anyway. So I'm already on the way to destroy her life. Good first step. Okay, somebody else like to share? Samjata, would you like to? I see you're sitting in your nice studio. Can you open up, Sujata?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I felt in a very deep room somehow, and after the third part, it went deeper and deeper, and I nearly wanted to came back again. It was really beautiful.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it always amazes me that through this Zoom meeting, we're far apart. She's living actually in Hamburg, I'm in Cologne, but still, I was today having this meeting with a lady from Bali, and she was even further away. She was in Asia, and here it was the morning, and there it was the night, but still, such a close meeting happened. I find it very, very touching, actually. It's very, very amazing.
Yes, when we started, I didn't expect this, that it would be so deep.
Right. Yeah, many people have judgments about it, but well, me too in the beginning. In the beginning, I didn't have expectations about it, but in fact, it's really working excellently. Okay, Maha, would you like to share?
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
I'm so touched by Nandini and her story about the kids.
If you remember at the weekend, she was afraid the kids would stay with Daddy and she would lose her kids, you know?
Yeah.
But so, I mean, existence works very beautifully, actually.
Mm. It's so nice to hear.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and in this meditation,
I was really quiet and not many thoughts quite quickly. And I could fall deeper and deeper all the time. So it was quite intense.
right. Okay. Lakshmi? Anybody can volunteer, but if you don't volunteer, then I volunteer you.
Hello, everybody. My meditation was very deep as well. It was like feeling two thick cushions on my shoulders, and only a few thoughts in between. Very wonderful.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
nice to see
Yeah.
you all again.
Yeah, I mean, you're another case of an older person who gets younger every time we meet you.
Thank you very much.
I used to call, in my earlier meetings, I used to call this whole thing divine cosmetic.
Divine cosmetic. Very nice.
Because it comes from inside, you know, it comes from inside.
Yeah.
Doesn't really cost anything, and it's very, very powerful cosmetic.
Yeah.
Probably the most powerful cosmetics.
Yeah, really. Yeah, really. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And I see Dakini down there in the corner of my screen. Would you like to share?
Yes, of course. I suddenly imagined that I'm on the beach and I was hearing the sound of the waves and the sand on my feet, and somehow the feeling inside me was of forgiveness in two directions.
Okay. Good, good. Okay, very nice. Who else would like to share?
Sigrun is raising her hand.
Ah, good, yes. Yeah, I was going to ask her actually. I was afraid I couldn't pronounce Seagram correctly. Okay, go ahead, Seagram.
Hello.
Hello. Where are you sitting right now? Which part of Germany are you?
Ich bin in Freiburg. I'm in Freiburg.
Aha, okay, good, nice. Yeah. And what happened for you?
Es war sehr tief. It was very deep.
Right.
Und schwer und warm. warm and
Heavy.
heavy, schwer.
Right, right. Okay. Very nice, very nice.
Very nice.
And very connected now, yeah? It's amazing how it works, really.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
One person was telling me that because you're sitting in your own home, in maybe on your own, in your own chair, it makes it even more kind of homey, maybe. That gets more personal because you're relaxed at home, you know, it's not like going out to a special meeting, it's very sort of personal. For example, 5 minutes before this meeting, I put my two girls to bed. I've got two daughters, 5 years old, and I put them into bed 5 minutes before this meeting. So this is makes the whole thing very, very personal.
Ja. Ja. Ja, es ist auch ganz schnell möglich.
Yeah. Okay, I've just seen Leela. Leela, surprise, surprise. What do you say? Where is Lavanya? Actually, we had asked Lavanya to translate tonight, so Arjuna could have a break. So Leela, what have you got to say from Kiev?
Лила, что ты там скажешь из Киева?
Не знаю. Сижу вот, кушаю шоколад. Очень хорошо.
I'm sitting here eating chocolate. Very good here.
Okay. And what about the meditation?
Как насчет медитации тогда?
Did you try that?
Пробовала вначале?
It's more delicious than chocolate, you know.
Даже вкуснее, чем шоколад, который ты ешь.
Не знаю, как всегда, ничего особенного. Все очень обычно.
Yeah, very usual meditation, nothing special.
Okay, okay. Some people say that the effect of this meeting is better than sex. Can you imagine that?
Слышишь, а некоторые люди говорят, что эффект от этих встреч лучше, чем после секса. Представляешь?
We're talking about tantra sex, of course.
Мы говорим, конечно, о том сексе, ну, о танtra-сексе, ну, ты меня понимаешь.
Ну, каждому свое.
Anybody want to respond to that?
Кто-то хотел бы на это откликнуться.
I can see Rajan smiling, so maybe we should ask him about that.
Я вижу, Раджан улыбается. Пожалуй, спросим его на этот счет.
He's one of our tantra experts.
Он один из наших тантра-экспертов.
Yeah, it's similar. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's this this connection, which is the whole point. Is love connection with people. That there's no difference, just sharing the same space together.
Right, right. And somehow the topic of tonight is explaining really exactly how this Zoom is working. So after tonight you should really understand something that maybe you don't understand now about how life is really working. Because unfortunately we've been conditioned to believe that I am doing my life. So this is a bit pity because this is a typical kind of conditioning that almost everybody in the society is getting from when they're very small as they grow up as children. then when they get to teenage, and then when they're 20, when they're working, when they get married and have children. This whole conditioning is that we are doing our life, you know, and there are even people offering kind of special philosophies about how you can do your life better, yeah. And tonight we have a very beautiful quotation about love. And this quotation is something that, in fact, I've been saying for many, many years myself. But I've chosen a quotation from this man, Deepak Chopra. Deepak Chopra. So actually he's about the same age as I am, but he's much more famous. He's probably one of the most famous teachers now in the world. He's a medical doctor, very good at speaking, and he's written many, many books, and very well-known guy. And I must say I very much appreciate him. I feel a good connection with him. So tonight I'm going to quote I'm going to quote from him. And for those of you who don't know this book, I would like to introduce this book. I put it in the screen. So this is actually what I would say is the best of 3 teaching books that I produced. This was about 3 years ago. It's called The Pointless Joy of Freedom. And what I did was, over about a 3 or 4 years time, I chose quotations from 30 masters. These are the masters. So 30 masters who have touched my life in different ways. So some of them are rather old, people like Lao Tzu, Buddha, Jesus. So these old teachers from 2,000 years ago. And then I've got teachers from 100 years ago. Ramana Maharshi, Neem Karoli Baba. Who's that? Oh, I don't recognize him actually. But anyway, J. Christian Murti. The whole bunch of teachers from about 100 years ago. And then also from now, still living, I've got Eckhart Tolle. Who else have I got? They're all dying off, unfortunately. I've got Paul Lowe. Paul Lowe was the kind of main disciple of Osho. He always used to sit in the front of the meeting, and he was an English guy, very, very close to Osho. And he's also in this book. So I sent him a copy of this book about 2 years ago, and he wrote back to me, it's a masterpiece. So of course now I've done my life's work, I'm only playing with you guys. So anyway, I think this book is pretty much of a masterpiece, but of course I can't actually say that. So just remember it was Paul Lowe that said it's a masterpiece. But anyway, here's this quotation from Deepak Chopra on the subject of love. Love is our being. Being is existence. So love is existence. Your essential state is love. So this is like a fundamental understanding. When you would understand what I've just read, you will understand how life is working, and you can also understand how this Zoom meeting is working. Because this love that I've been talked about tonight is not the Hollywood love, it's not the romantic love of pop songs and trashy magazines. It's not this kind of romantic love. This love is a fundamental love which on the one side is our own being, our very nature actually is love, And this love is also everything. The screen is love, the microphone is love, the table and the chair is love, the whole planet is love, the whole universe is love. So it's like an enormous energetic soup, you know, a huge energetic soup. And we're not separate from that soup. We're absolutely that soup. We're part of the soup. We're not separate from the soup. So this is like a fundamental understanding. If you can, you know, drop your condition idea that you are doing your life and realize that your life is happening from moment to moment, then everything will start to change in your life, start to transform in your life. And gradually, as you get a certain trust, then it can go deeper and deeper. So this is an amazing journey. This is the most beautiful journey, the inner journey, because you're going not to something, you're not going to climb a mountain, you're not going to go to the Arctic and go to the North Pole. You're going to go inside yourself, to the deepest part, and you're going to discover for yourself that you're not separate. You're absolutely it. And all this idea of separation, all this idea of I'm doing my life, is an unfortunate conditioning. And Deepak Chopra, he calls this, he says the ego is a socially induced hallucination. The ego is a socially induced hallucination. I really love that. It's one of my favorite quotations. And if you can remember that small quotation, that will be a great help actually. Because unfortunately, we're so much conditioned that we easily fall into the ego. We absolutely trust the ego. We don't even notice how much we trust the ego. And you have to, somehow you have to come out of this hallucination. If you ever, how can I say, if you think about going to sleep, you know, if you go into a deep sleep, you know, and then you wake up, and in this deep sleep you had a dream. It wasn't so deep if you had a dream, but anyway, let's say you had a sleep and you had a dream. And in this dream, it felt very, very real. Maybe a tiger chased you. Something very real about the dream. And then, maybe when the tiger was about to jump on you, you suddenly woke up. Maybe it was in the night, maybe it was in the morning, but anyway, you suddenly opened your eyes, and in that moment, you realized it was just a dream. So now we have to do the same thing with this ego. The ego is a kind of set of structures that we've been trained, like you train a robot. We're trained like a robot to have certain ideas, certain beliefs. Even we don't have to be trained, because when we were little, we lived maybe with mummy and daddy, and of course we understood that love was mummy loving daddy, daddy loved mummy, and then mummy loved me, and maybe daddy also loved me. So we always got the impression that love came from somebody, even it wasn't spoken. So this is not so easy to change, because it's a deep conditioning from when we're very, very small, that love comes from somebody. So he goes on to say, what distorts that is that we look outside for love, not realizing that the love we experience outside is a reflection of the love we have for our deepest self. When I say deepest self, I don't mean your ego, which is not yourself. The ego is a socially induced hallucination. I mean your soul, which is beyond your self-image. It is your true self. Your true self is love. This is a very beautiful quotation because it's amazingly clear and very intensive. And unfortunately, for most of us, it's very difficult to really understand what Deepak is telling us in this quotation. It always seems like love is coming from somebody. It always seems like that. And of course, out of that wrong idea, we are constantly looking on the outside to find somebody who will love us. And then, of course, the society has created something called marriage, where, you know, you get a dog license, you get a car license. Why not get a person license? It's called marriage. So you get this document, you know, that he is mine, she is mine, you see? Sign here. Very nice, yeah? So then you possess somebody. Possess somebody. He is mine, she is mine. We even signed the contract together. It's a bit like renting an apartment, you know, you get a wife or a husband. You both sign the papers. And then when you want to change your apartment, you can also change your wife or change your husband. That's called divorce, you know. It's amazing that somehow it's so in the life, it's so in the society, it's almost impossible to see this. I've been talking about this for, I don't know, 20 or 30 years. And I always see that people don't want it. It's a bit like they believe in Father Christmas, so they don't want to lose their belief in Father Christmas. It's amazing. I'm going to see in a minute what you guys are going to tell me about this, but usually nobody wants to lose their belief in Father Christmas. Such a sweet story. So I go back to the beginning. Love is our being. Being is existence. So love is existence. Your essential state is love. And everything is love. So now you can understand why the Zoom works, you see. The whole kaput, the whole stuff is love. And so there's not really any separation. I'm looking at the screen right now with 25 people on this screen. Boys and girls, old and young. And it's like, actually there's no separation. I am you and you are me. Who's talking? Who's listening? It's amazingly simple. This quotation is kind of all you really need. If you really get this quotation, it's finished. But you can look inside maybe now and be very honest with yourself and see how you've got very strong ideas about romantic love. That you're going to meet somebody, or you maybe already met somebody, And this person is absolutely going to love us. Doesn't work like that. I had a very nice example yesterday. I was in the garden with my two little girls, and there was a new guest. I just met him 20 minutes before, and he was in the garden, and he was attracted to kind of relate to the girls. They were having a swing, you know, up and down, and so anyway, he started doing a little song about the monkey. I think I've forgotten how it goes, but maybe he'll tell us in a minute. So anyway, he's doing this monkey song with the kids about 5 little monkeys, 4 little monkeys, 3 little monkeys, 2 little monkeys. And I watched the girls, you know, and one of them immediately was interested about this guy. She'd never met him before. Who's this funny guy telling me about a song about monkeys, you know? And she's looking at him, and I could see a kind of moment, what you could call love happening, you know? It just happens. And then a bit later, she was playing around in the garden, and then, as I thought would happen, she came and kind of attacked him. He was lying on the swing with his guitar, quietly singing to himself. And then she came and, I don't know exactly, she pushed him, or, I don't know, grabbed his guitar, or she kind of attacked him in a friendly way, you know, in a friendly way. And then he started playing a song using her name. So she started to say, Amelia is in the garden, or something like this, you see. And then she said, go away, go away. And then he played even louder. Even louder, he said, Amelia's in the garden, blah, 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 whatever. I don't remember the song. And again, she said even stronger, go away, you see. And while this was happening, while the song was happening and the go away was happening, there was just love, yeah. We've all experienced this kind of moment, yeah. And it's so beautiful to experience or watch that happening, because you know, it's just, if you're open, and of course little girls when they're 5, they're very open. And this guy, I never met him before, he's truly open, very open guy. And he understands life is not very serious. And he likes playing his guitar. And he probably likes kids, so, you know, what happens, you see? A moment of love happens. And is that him loving her, or is it her loving him? She was saying, go away, you see. Was this love? The love just happened. It was just there, you know. In a certain moment, it was just there. Nobody was loving anybody. Nobody was loving anybody. It was just love. And if you're sufficiently quiet inside, if you're sufficiently deep inside, then you can immediately recognize that. Nothing about giving. Nobody's giving love. Nobody's giving love. You have love. You are love. You are love. So it's not really difficult to experience love, because that's your essence. You just need it to be touched, you know, just a little tickle, little tickle. I remember when I was talking to a guy called Parry. He's a Greek man. You may have heard of him. He sings with his wife, Satya, Parry and Satya. They're quite well-known mantra singers. And he'd been many years with Osho, like I was, and then he went to Papaji. And when he met Papaji, he asked a question, kind of clever question, actually. So Papaji said, come here, come here. This is a kind of mature man. I don't know how old he was, maybe 45 or something. He'd been many years meditating. He'd already been with a spiritual master. Papaji said, come here, come here. And then Papaji didn't answer his question. He started to tickle him. And Papaji carried on tickling this guy for 20 minutes, right? Tickling him, this grown-up man. He started tickling him. So you can imagine it wasn't long before everybody was laughing. The whole room was laughing out of this tickling. You know? And he told me recently, as part of this book, he told me that this was the teaching he got from Papaji. That was his moment, you can say. That was a special moment. And then later he spent a lot of time with Papaji, and blah, blah, blah. Lots of things happened. But the moment when he kind of understood was the moment Papaji tickled him. He didn't teach him anything, you see. So why did he tickle him? Because actually there's nothing to say. Either you get it or you don't get it, you know. If you're open, this man has been meditating in Osho's ashram for quite a few years. He probably did lots of workshops, and he was really open guy from Greece, a kind of warm-hearted man. And Papaji could see that. The same way I was telling you earlier about the woman who came and Papaji gave a railway ticket to her. You know? I've decided I'm going to start keeping railway tickets in my pocket, by the way. It's going to be a new way of teaching, you know. Going to start taking people on train rides. For no reason at all. We'll just go to the station and go on a train, and then we'll come back, you know, and then at the end of the day, nothing really happened. We just spent some time on a train together. If you like this idea, I'll start doing it, I think. Anyway, so can you imagine Papaji, he's about 80 years old, tickling this 40-year-old man, he probably put him on the platform next to him, and then he tickled him, you see, and he went on and on and on and on. 20 minutes of tickling, it's quite a long time, right? And during this 20 minutes, he got it. He just understood, you see. He just understood. Beautiful, you know? So would somebody like to dialogue with me about this quotation? I've got another quotation, actually, slightly different subject about love, but I think this is the most profound quotation. Does anybody honestly like to expose their years of frustrated loving? Which is where it always gets difficult. Nobody wants to admit that they believe in Father Christmas. Oh, okay. Actually, we start with Heinz, because he's the man with the guitar, actually. Okay, can you unlock him, Owen?
Du müsstest nur auf deinen Bildschirm auf die Meldung klicken. Auf den blauen Knopf. Ganz groß in der Mitte vom Bildschirm ist das dann. Oder links unten im Bild ist so ein Mikrofonsymbol und da einmal draufdrücken.
Jetzt habe ich.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Sorry for that. It was me with the kids yesterday, and the trick is do not go out of the laugh. Whatever they do, they are only testing you. They are testing my laugh. And when I say something, oh, this is not all right, or something like that, I lose the test. They're testing my laugh, and I have to be in love, whatever they check it out or whatever they do.
Right.
I have a signature. It's love, L-O-V-A, and love like laughing, and it pronounced the same. Love, and love. It sounds the same word, but it's Liebe und Lachen.
Right,
Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, yeah.
And it's the same pronounce, love and ha ha and love. So yeah, it's
right.
For me it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Is that for you okay when I sing a song? Because sometimes it's easier, then you can feel it more than words.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's have a song. It sounds good. Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah. But don't forget, we're adults, so probably not the monkey song.
Not the monkey song.
Yeah.
Been traveling a year. Been traveling a year. Been traveling my lifetime to find my way home. Home is where my heart is. Home is where my heart is. Home is where my heart is. And my heart is with you. Been traveling a day. Been traveling a year. Been traveling my lifetime to find my way home. Home is where my heart is. Home is where my heart is. Home is where my heart is. And my heart is with you. Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
I think it's easier to feel a feeling. Words are sometimes only words, but in a way like this, it's better to feel it. I think so.
Right. Right. Anyway, I think you're leaving us in a day or two, but maybe you'll return again sometime, and sure Amelia won't forget you. Nah. Actually, she's kind of my tester, you know. If I don't know about people, then I send her, you know. I say, go on, go and meet him, you know. But actually, I don't even have to say that. She's so well trained. She goes always by herself, you know.
The most kids are testing your love. and I love it when you're testing you because they have to test it. They want that we love them. They want to test our love. That's all right. There's no problem.
Right. Okay. So, Kamala, you'd like to, can we unlock her and boot her?
Do you hear me?
Yeah. So Kamala is living in our community for some 4 or 5 years, I think. She's had quite a lot of experiences of love and different styles of relationship.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of topic.
What's that?
I thought it was kind of my topic, so.
Your topic, yeah. Cool. Well, when you're 25, it has to be your topic.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything particular to say. Just, I think this deeper kind of love really was what brought me into the community. And it really is like this, yeah, that gradually it's more present in the everyday life. And I'm extremely thankful for this, yeah. And also this love story desires are still there, yeah, and I still have to struggle with them. And I can totally understand this, even though on one hand I don't understand it. But yeah.
Right. Well, when you're your age, you're allowed to experiment. You have to experiment. Anyway, you have no choice with all the chemicals rushing around. It's like what to say.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, recently I found out that it really is a strong thing on your body, actually. Yeah, like what you say on the chemicals. It's just, even when the mind story is not active, just your body is in this thing. Yeah, like a drug almost.
Right. Yeah. We have mostly older people tonight, so maybe their chemicals aren't so strong anymore. Okay, and Lakshmi, you'd like to share something?
Referring to Deepak Chopra, I made a wonderful experience. Maybe Indira, would you please help me to translate?
I can help you, Indira.
Thank you, because it's a little bit difficult to explain. Vor ein paar Jahren, some years ago, I had a friend, but not platonisch, wie wir das, einen platonischen Freund. Kannst du das übersetzen?
No. Anybody else an idea what that means?
Also ohne Sexualität, auf jeden Fall.
We had a friendship, but without sex.
Genau.
Without intimacy, I think.
Yeah, intimacy, genau.
Right.
And one day I was lying in my bed and I slept, and I wake up, and because my whole body was in flame. Ich habe das Gefühl gehabt, dass mein ganzer Körper brennt.
I had the feeling my whole body was burning.
Ja, burning, genau. Und ich hatte das Gefühl, dass ich dieses Brennen mit meiner Atmung nach oben ziehen müsste.
And I had the feeling that through my breath I had to pull that burning upwards in my body.
Yeah. Because this feeling was in every cell of my body, and I always try to ich habe immer versucht, mit der Atmung dieses sehr schöne, aber überwältigende Gefühl nach oben zu ziehen. Das war ein richtiges, starkes Bedürfnis, das nach oben zu ziehen.
And I had the strong feeling to try to get this overwhelming feeling to rise up, to rise up through my breath.
Mm-hmm. As if I had to get this burning feeling out of the upper chakra,
Right.
Yeah. And the most important thing was that the next day or sometimes later, I understood dass es überhaupt nichts mit diesem Freund zu tun hatte.
I understood it had nothing to do with a friend.
Sondern ich habe reine Liebe gespürt.
But it was pure love.
Ja. Ich hatte wirklich das Gefühl, dass mein ganzer Körper Liebe war.
My entire body, it was love.
Und es hatte nichts mit diesem Freund zu tun.
And it had nothing to do with that friend.
Genau.
Right, right.
Yeah. It's a very exciting and overwhelming experience.
Right, right. Okay. Somebody else like to share something? Otherwise, I'll go ahead with the other part of the quotation, but maybe somebody else. Arjuna, you're one of the world's kind of experts on this subject.
Yes, John, I don't know what to say. I don't believe in love.
No?
No. I have no power to believe in this anymore.
Okay.
Now I'm believing friendship, John.
Friendship.
Yes.
Okay.
Love is something unreliable, actually. You cannot rely on this. And yeah. But what to say, yesterday I was watching the documentary film about Hemingway.
Right.
That's the guy. I tell you, it's like so it's from which point to see on this, yeah? I mean, if to be free of this creation, okay. wanting.
He was living in Cuba for quite a long time, yeah?
Yes.
I've been to his house there, actually, in Cuba. Have you been there?
No. I was mostly in the bars.
Right.
Yeah,
You were probably in his bar, and I was in his house, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. And he was often in the bar, of course, because he probably lived in Cuba because the girls are pretty hot there, I think. Maybe you know about that.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, so I don't know, and yeah, this it's a strong feeling, but it's a kind of feeling where I don't know. I'm not interested in this, actually. So.
Are you not really interested in love anymore? Okay. Anybody else not interested anymore? Maybe somebody could be still interested in this subject. Okay, so I'm going to read the other part of this quotation. It's also interesting. The first secret to attract a profound lover or a soulmate into your life is to fully embrace, love, and accept yourself just as you are. The first secret to attract a profound lover or soulmate into your life is to fully embrace, love, and accept yourself just as you are. Very beautiful, yeah? Loving you with all your flaws and insecurities turns you into a powerful, manifesting magnet. By diving deep into self-acceptance, you will find that it is much easier for everyone else to feel at peace with you. Sorry, feel at peace when hanging out with you. When you are okay with all your parts, it's easy to open the door to intimacy with anyone. This is very amazing because, I mean, this is it, yeah? When you can accept yourself as you are. You see, you can accept yourself as you are. There's no need to change yourself, you know. You don't have to change and become like somebody. You just have to totally accept yourself the way you are. This is a really amazing advice, in fact, because for most of us, we can't ever really accept ourselves as we are. Maybe everybody has judgments, self-judgments, very strong judgments. Anybody like to share about that? I think Dakini wants to share. I can see her smiling. Would you like to share about this subject? So yeah, we can hear you. I just haven't quite finished. I'm going to reveal one of your secrets, because during the weekend we discovered she's an Enneagram 4, and Enneagram 4 ladies. Well, usually it's ladies. Occasionally there are also men Enneagram 4, but mostly it tends to be ladies, artistic ladies, and unfortunately, they have very strong inner idea that they're not good enough. They're not okay the way they are. And so this advice is the perfect advice for an Enneagram 4, actually. Did you notice that?
Yes. Yeah, well, I don't know if this situation comes from my inside or from the exterior. At least in the past, it came from the exterior, and then I thought it has to be like that, always to be the best, always to be in front, always to be on top, and do absolutely everything to reach that. Because I was always told I'm not enough if I'm not the first. So it was always a drama if I was the second. Yeah, so that's it, actually. So it converted me into what I am now, but maybe it did not come from me, but from other people.
Right. Well, I mean, I think I was telling you this already at the weekend. I mean, if you have a strong self-judgment that you're not okay, then of course naturally you put a lot of effort to prove to yourself or maybe to other people that you are okay.
Yeah.
And probably your life has become successful in one way of success because of your efforts to do that to yourself, you know. Maybe you try to prove it to somebody else. Once you talked a bit about your mother, that you want to prove to your mother, but basically you want to prove to yourself, you know. And so that gives us a kind of power to create something, and you've created some things in your life which people would say are successful, and so you're good enough, you know. You've proved that you're good enough.
Yeah. I'm starting to see that.
Right. Okay, good, thank you. So somebody else like to share about this subject? Subject which nobody's really interested in? We have a Hydron, which I'm probably not pronouncing correctly, of course, but anyway. Where's she gone? There she is. Okay.
I just wanted to say something about Cuban girls and women.
Oh, yeah?
I have been in a samba school in Vienna for a long time.
Okay.
And we were dancing in performances. And in front there was always the show and the kind of theater. But when you have been talking to these women, then very often they had very sad stories behind them. So all this, because they have, somebody said these hot girls, but it's just a show. And these women are used to it, that they have to do anything to, how do you say, einem Mann zu gefallen, to be attractive for a man. That's what they learned.
Yeah, yeah.
But the stories behind it are very often not very happy and very sad. So, and the older the women are, the more they have the feeling they have lost their youth, they have lost the attraction, and when they are old, then they feel really old and have very often, because I know a few of them for a very long time, and it seems that they didn't go out with a very happy life. So that's what I wanted to say, because what we see is the show in front, but there's something else behind it.
Right, right. Well, I mean, this is the way the world has conditioned women in almost every culture, actually.
Yeah.
Somehow men have managed to do a kind of, I don't know the right word, but a kind of big trick on women since, centuries in a way. That women should kind of do their show, do the show.
I think many women actually have the desire that a man really comes to know who they really are as a person, not as a woman, but as a person. And maybe that's much healthier than this kind of attraction or this kind of sexual theater.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And maybe also for a man, it's I think also men have the desire that somebody really comes to know them and know who they really are, because they also learn the role, how I have to be as a man.
Right, right. I mean, that's the beauty of, what we're perhaps beginning to understand tonight, that, if you can just be yourself, whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, then actually if you go on this route, this inner route to be who you are, to be who you are, our kind of root guru or teacher is actually Ramana Maharshi. And he used to say, be who you are, not who your best friend or your mummy or somebody, just be who you are. If you live exactly being as you are, then it works as you're suggesting. Inevitably, people are attracted to you because you're being as you are. Some people like that, and some people maybe don't like that. But this is the most authentic way to share, I think. And it's what he's also suggesting, because if you truly accept yourself, then other people feel that, they feel that. It's one of the beautiful things about children, that because now I'm going, every day to the kindergarten, so I also see other kids, not only my own kids, but I'm kind of starting to be in the world of little children, and they're just who they are, That's what's so great about little children, because they still haven't been told how to be, so they're just being themselves. And it's what we can feel with children, that there's an innocence and a kind of trueness about them. And we can laugh at the funny things maybe kids do sometimes, but actually we can also feel some kind of regret that we lost the possibility to do funny stuff that kids do, because we know the right way or something. We know the right behavior. They don't know the right behavior, so they just do what they should do, who they are. It's very beautiful.
I think there was this lady, I forgot the name. She said something like the people in the open sky house, they are childlike. She said they are not childish, but childlike. And maybe that's what she meant. I have the feeling that people are very authentic there, and that's what I also miss a little bit when I am outside now.
Only a little bit?
Only
a little bit?
Very little bit.
Okay, well, stay a bit longer. Stay a bit longer out there, and it won't be a little bit.
I'm coming back.
Yeah. There was somebody recently, talking about, this person's a bit interested, maybe come and live in our house. And they were saying to me, well, how can I just stay in the house all the time? What about all the world? I want to go out sometimes. I want to experience the world. I want to go to the beach, walk in the mountains. How can I stay like you guys? You're always in the house. You don't ever leave. And I mean, nobody in our house is ever saying that you've got to stay in the house. Everybody has a key, they can go out and they've got a key, they can come back. Nobody's telling you have to stay. But after some months, or maybe, I don't know, maybe only weeks, somehow by themselves, people find themselves so much busy to do stuff in the house that they don't really have interest anymore to go to the beach or go to the mountain. When you're not in that energy, you need all these kind of diversions, You need to sit on the beach, you need to climb the mountains, you need to, I don't know what you need. But when you're actually nourished, as soon as you start to feel nourished inside, the whole game just stops. Just stops.
Yeah, that's very true.
And this is that very incredible, that you find yourself being completely nourished without doing anything apparently exciting that should, in the old time, would make you nourished. You get nourished by sitting on the beach. And this is a bit of a...
There are two people who want to say something.
Okay. Let's ask Hanuman then.
Yeah.
Привет, Джандель.
Hello, John David.
Ты дал мне билет, и сейчас Хануман в Испании.
You gave me a ticket and now I am in Spain.
Right.
Для Ханумана актуальна тема сдачи.
For Hanumana, this topic of of surrendering is very actual.
Right.
Сейчас что? Хануман также женат на Бхакти.
Hanuman married with the Bhakti.
У Ханумана есть сильная идея «я» и «моё».
Hanuman has very strong idea, my and mine, me.
Я понимаю, когда ты говоришь о романтической любви, ну, я могу видеть это также в своей жизни.
I understand when you are talking about romantic love. I can see this in my life.
Я могу видеть, насколько сильными оковами являются эти идеи.
I can see as how these ideas can be a huge hindrance, huge obstacles.
Я вижу, я вижу страх потери, и это жена, дети, мое тело.
I see the fear to lose wife, children, this fear of losing.
Right. Have you got her under contract, Hanuman? Have you got a contract?
У тебя есть контракт? Ты успел заключить?
Ну да, я думаю, да, есть. Такой у нас негласный, по умолчанию.
Yes, we managed to make a contract.
Very good. So you don't have to worry. You can enjoy your time in Spain. Don't worry about it.
Если у тебя контракт есть, то там, как бы все сохранно, значит, у меня. Не волнуйся ни за что, наслаждайся своим временем в Испании.
You've got a contract. I'm sure she will honor the contract.
У тебя договор, все будет согласно договору.
Shall we ask her? Can we ask her?
Давай спросим.
Давайте спросим.
Бхакти. Давайте.
Bhakti, she's even there with one of your children. Look.
Бхакти, вот она с одним из твоих детей там сидит.
Привет.
Hello.
Привет.
Привет.
Hello.
Папа, привет. Ой, что вам сказать? Что сказать? Ой.
What to say to you?
Ну, что могу сказать? Платоха, дашь сказать? Ну, в общем, если любовь идет из нас, и, в общем-то, все наполняет.
If consider that we are love and kind of love going out of us and love fill up everything.
То, возможно, вообще нет значения, есть контракт или нет контракта.
Then probably it means there is no difference between is there any contract of is there no contract.
Right.
Просто любовь
Just
одного партнера или 10, ну кто-то как выбирает.
One partner or 10 partners who is who choose, who it's up to the choice of each person.
Конечно, эти структуры обусловленности, они очень сильны. Ну, мне они не мешают быть любовью.
Of course, this kind of conditionings, they are very strong, But those conditioning doesn't prevent me to be the love.
Любить.
To love.
Наслаждаться жизнью, любовью.
To enjoy life, to enjoy love.
Ну и что?
Okay, Hammond, that's all right.
Ну что, Хануман, такой ответ в порядке?
Thank you.
Спасибо.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're gonna finish the meeting now actually, so we'll finish with Heinz. He's got his hand up. Maybe he's gonna sing us another song to finish.
Катя, продолжай.
No. Do you understand me?
Yeah, we understand you.
I have. It's not easy to fall in love with me, and one of the most things were that I had thoughts in my mind that other people think about me, and it was very interesting to ask the people, is that what I think, what you think? Is that the truth? And in over 100%, it was only my thinking. And it was very important for me to check my reality in my mind. Is that really the reality for the other persons? For example, in my mind was that all the women like to do the housework. That was in my mind. And I asked the women, and they said, no, sorry, that's not the truth. But it was very important to check that out. That I want to share, and what I want to share is, 3-4 years ago, in my mind was, I like to dance, and I was thinking, I'm too old, I'm too fat, nobody loves me, something like that. But it had nothing to do with the reality. When I'm dancing, it's so nice, so wonderful connections with other people, women and men, so deep dances, and all the problems, they were only in my mind. And so I want to share that it's very important, is my fear, whatever is in my mind, is that the reality? And sometimes it's not the reality. So I want to share it. Thank you.
Right.
Hi, Drew. All the best. He was the woman who told me about the open sky house.
Sorry, who's that?
Heidrun.
She told you.
Yeah, she told me. So when everybody has problems with me, you can say always it's Heidrun's fault. Sorry.
Right. Well, we don't have any problems with you so far. If you stay longer, maybe. Okay, so actually I think we're gonna stop now. I see Angel would like to say hello. Just quickly, maybe. He's coming. Are you coming tomorrow? Pedro, is Pedro there? Is he coming tomorrow, Pedro, to the house?
Pedro can't talk at the moment.
El 4, que se ha puesto solo, perdóname. Estoy conduciendo y se ha levantado la mano solo. Joder.
Can you open up Pedro as well so he can translate?
Yes, please.
What?
Well, he was driving. He's driving, and then he pressed the button of the hand without wanting.
Okay. Is he driving to come and visit us?
Ángel, ¿estás conduciendo hacia Denia?
Sí.
Yes, he's driving towards Denia.
Okay,
Open
great.
Sky House.
Okay, very good. Very good, okay. See you tomorrow.
Muy bien, nos
Good.
vemos mañana.
So I'm going to stop now. I just like to tell you that this weekend
Voy a parar ahora.
we have a Vipassana weekend, and Angel is driving now to come and attend the weekend. And if anybody likes to join the weekend, we still have space. It starts on Friday evening and goes until Sunday evening. And this is a very powerful way of looking inside. So those of you who don't know our style, normally Vipassana is usually a 10-day seminar for 10 days. But in our case, it's just from Friday till Saturday, to Sunday evening. But you stay all the time on your island. So you have an island and you sit with a blindfold the whole weekend, and we bring you food, and we take you to the toilets, and we look after you if something happens. There's always somebody taking care. And actually, this is a very beautiful experience in itself, just to be able to allow somebody to completely care for you. You don't have to be concerned for anything. You're completely cared. It's very lovely. So if anybody would still like to do the weekend, you're welcome. We have space. Okay, and on the next meeting will be on the 10th of June. That'll be a Thursday. Thursday, 10th of June, another meeting. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I think tonight was the record. We had 36 people tonight. I think that's our record attendance. So thank you, everybody. So many different countries. Nice that Angel came in with some Spanish at the end. A little touch of the Spanish language. Okay, thank you.